Good evening, everybody. So, as best as I can remember, it's day 3 of this new live challenge that I've been doing on sort of advice and the do's and don'ts, not only professionally, but more around etiquette and personally as well. So I thought, I mentioned social media on last night's post, so I thought I would add a little bit more to that idea that we have to be careful with social media. So I also did some research for a talk that I did today on how much time people spend on all kinds of devices, social media, including TV, including FaceTime, Twitter, tweeting, all those things. So a lot of time is spent with that kind of entertainment. As a matter of fact, the last research that was done for 2018 said that Americans, spend an average of over 11 hours a day on social media as entertainment. So the entire, gaming, Netflix, TV, all those things, 11 plus hours. And what I found even more fascinating is the 65 age and above, that they spend an average of 18 hours a day on devices, especially TV, radio, things like that. So social media is obviously a huge place for everybody to get information, but also to be entertained. And I would say that for those of you that are young, or those of you that are looking to change your careers, or you are looking for a job, just in general, I would be very careful what you post these days on social media, especially if you are very open to things being public. I'll tell you a funny story that happened a long time ago to me when I was actually interviewing candidates for positions with an old company. And I had a couple of my senior salespeople also interview with me because I wanted them to start to get used to interviewing and also to develop some interview skills. They were both sort of within that promotional category. So we all went in and interviewed this guy, and everybody took their own notes, and we did our own things and did some behavioral interviewing questions, and kind of came away with both of them being really excited about this young guy. And I liked him too, but I was going to defer to the two of them until we took a look at his social media page. And within an hour of him leaving the interview, he was making comments about kind of that we had fallen for it, that if anybody out there wanted to know how to smoke screen an interview and how to get through with flying colors, to just post him, and he would let them know how to kind of get away with a good interview. So needless to say, we were fairly sold on this person until we saw his social media posts, and he didn't get the job. So what I would just say to everybody is, yes, there is a very fine line about what companies can and can't do, but as long as you're willing to be very open and vocal and public about how you present yourself or how you brand yourself, then that information is available to everybody. So just a cautionary tale about the do's and don'ts. So, do use social media to market and to get research on great positions for yourself. A very professional site that tells everybody over and over again that they're not LinkedIn, or that they're not Facebook, is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a great place to start to brand yourself, to get yourself a really good profile on there, start to talk about your work history, and post things that are very professional, share articles, and just be somebody who gives other people information. So LinkedIn is a great place to go. So do use social media when you need to get information, but also to sort of market yourself. Don't use social media to brag about some of the things that you like to do, unless you want everybody to see that. So I know that you can keep things fairly hidden by only seeing your friends and having your friends post them, but things get tagged, pictures get tagged, and then they get shared, and pretty soon you being kind of silly or acting out at a party or dressing weird, pretty soon you've got yourself all over the internet. So I would just be careful. Be careful and think about that when you're having a good evening out, having fun with your friends. It will be something that lasts and follows you around for a very long time. So, do's and don'ts of social media part 2 tonight. All right, everybody. That's about it. I'll start talking about a few other things like interview skills, some things about some tips on just etiquette things too, and dressing and all those different things. So I hope everybody has a great evening, and this is day 3 over and done with on the advice and the do's and don'ts, and I'll be talking to you again tomorrow. Good night, everybody.